Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Dark Anime Robin. In this video, I'll be unboxing and reviewing the SH Figuarts of Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku Mini Daima from the Dragon Ball Daima series. And this set is manufactured by Bandai Tamashii Nation. And let's check out details on this case before we open it. So through the transparency here, we can see pretty much the whole Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku figure here. He's tiny and he's got at least 4 alternate face parts, and looks like there's a lot of different alternate hands in this set. And on the back we have many picture here that shows us like SH Figuart. This figure is very articulated, capable of putting on many kinds of poses for display, and even allow you to recreate the Son Goku Super Saiyan 4 mini things from the Daima series. And looks like there's extra effect parts for the SH Figuart Son Goku mini here, and it even included like a really cool energy blast or Kamehameha wave blast effect parts, and kind of rare among SH Figuarts. So looks like this figure is gonna be a lot of fun. So that's all the detail we can get from the case, and let's open it up. So here we have the whole set in its plastic case, and looks like there's no printed instruction sheet. Instead, the instructions are printed inside the sleeve here of the case. And on this side, it's showing us the Kamehameha wave effect parts and how we can set it up. Looks like it can either go on by just simply attached to the arms of the figure by removing the hand parts, and the tails apparently are it's detachable, and then the energy blast effect part for the Son Goku mini SH Figuart sold separately. And let's see what this side showed us. Here we have like the display of every the default and all the alternate hand parts here, and how you can change the face of the figure. And looks like that's it. And now to open this case and take the figure out, because you can see there's like all kinds of small parts inside this set, so you want to open this case really carefully and gently, otherwise you could send all those accessories flying, and it's gonna be super painful to try to get them back. And see how like even this one hand got shaken loose just by opening the case, so it's gotta really be careful. And now let's get this figure out, and we have its tail here, and now we just have to attach onto complete it. minor adjustment, this figure can stand on its own, so it's got very good balance. And now, let's check out the articulation of this figure. So its head can turn left and right easily, although it can be slightly difficult because this big hair is kind of getting in the way of the shoulder. Down here, it's kind of rubbing against the chest, so you want to be a little careful when you turn the head here. And can also look down, not high up, but it can also look up. It's a kind of rare capability for most SH figure art. And so it can raise its arms to the side on a perfect 90-degree laterally. And obviously it can rotate its arm not 360 degree, but again the hair is in the way. It can also rotate its arms at this joint here. And the hand can do 360 turn as well. It's exactly the same articulation on this arm. So the figure can easily pose a combat fighting pose like this. And because the small size, it does a very limited articulation for the upper body. But it does have some flexibility for turning the upper torso like 45 degrees to each side, and as well as being able to push its torso forward or backwards. And it can also turn at its waist. And despite this tiny leg, you can still kick up, raise to the side. And this is enough to put on like some kind of kicking pose. And the tail was attached or detachable part, so it can turn like this, but the tail itself doesn't have any joint, so no articulation here. And it seems like it's a little too easily detached, so you have to be really careful when you move it. Maybe you have to press really hard to get it started in, but then it will be slightly inflexible, so you have to be careful when you move the tail. You don't want to break its end unnecessarily. And the leg can also bend at its knee. And there's a good ball joint for the ankle and the feet. So it's very easy for this figure to put on to different kind of stance. like OSH Figuart, and finally its feet can bend. So the figure can be put on stand. So you can put on like standing on the feet or standing on the pool. Kind of stands like this. And that's the full extent of this figure's articulation. It can be kind of tricky and hard to maneuver because it's so small. And now let's see how we can change its parts. So first we have to remove this top hair piece. We remove the default face, and in its place we put in whatever alternate face we want this figure to wear, and then just put the hair back in. It's easier with hands. You just simply have to detach the default hands, which are clench fist, and then reattach it with whatever hand you want for different kind of posture or fighting poses. There's another tricky part about the figure. If you play with articulation too much, it's kind of messed up. So now you have to find a way to straighten the figure back up. Now let's try some poses with the alternate parts. Here we have it as a normal standing up pose with a big smile. And here we have a battle stance with the default stern series face. And here we have a pose of gathering energy or exploding it. It was a war cry face. Here we have a hand chopping pose. We can also actually just roll the hand to actually put on the chop, the pose of the chop actually executed. And here's Goku doing a one-handed energy blast pose. We can also use the same parts to put on the pose of Goku firing the blast from the air, but as you see, you need a compatible display stand to help set up this pose. And here we have Goku lunging at an enemy. And here's a pose of Goku getting ready or charging up for Kamehameha wave attack. Here's the pose of Goku firing the Kamehameha wave. We can use this stand to hang him upside down to recreate the pose you saw from the back of the case. And here we have the parts that we have to use to set up the Kamehameha wave effect. Here's the actual energy blast parts. So here we have the stand to hold the blast. So we have to press it into the impression here. But obviously this one's not really gonna hold it. But this base, it can adjust its angle, so can the wave's angle once you attach it, and we would have to like press it onto this hand part, which we would have to first attach to Goku's arm. And now all we have to do is just set up the proper pose. So here we have Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku Mini firing his Kamehameha wave attack. And here's my attempt of setting up the pose of Goku firing the Kamehameha wave upside down. It can be really tricky, but it can be done, and you will really need a very sturdy and stable display stand in order to hold this pose for long. And with that, we have covered all the basic features for the Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku mini set. The only thing left to show will be these two extra hand effect parts, which are meant to work with the Son Goku mini here. There we go. So if you have Son Goku mini here, you can use these hands to put on the pose of charging and getting ready to store some energy blast effect, or just kind of getting ready to store energy balls from both hands, kind of so it's not super interesting, but at least if you have both sets, you can really put these hands to use this way. So here we have a very small yet very good looking and very articulated action figure with very strong screen accuracy appearance to the character it's based on. So if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Daima and you love the Super Saiyan 4 mini Son Goku, then this figure would definitely be a good collectible for you. However, there are some challenges in working with this figure. So while it has a lot of articulation, just like any SH Figuarts, however, the small size can make it tricky for the figure to keep balanced or standing when you put on various kind of poses. And because again it's really small, so it's hard to find a compatible display stand for it. So these are some challenge you want to be aware before deciding to buy this figure. And the very best part of this set is, besides the figure itself, is also that it comes with the Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku Mini's own Kamehameha wave effect parts. And it all can also be tricky to work with, again, because this effect's weight and the figure's small size and how light it is. It's difficult to try to find a balance of both parts and make them work, but with enough practice, anyone should be able to do it and make some very good looking display. And there's another small issue that people need to be aware of, that is these wristbands on the arm here, the blue wristband, they are actually detachable. They are not really part of the figure's arm. So every time you try to swap hands, these bands can come out very easily. So and because of their small size, this is very easy for them to just slip away and lose track of them. And so you want to be very careful, keep an eye on them, so otherwise you lose some important part of the figure. So I would highly recommend this figure for any Dragon Ball fan or any action figure collectors who want versatile, good looking and very posable figure, but be aware and be ready to deal with the challenges I mentioned in this video. And this concludes my review for this set. Thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe to my channel. And please check out other videos in my channel. If you have any question, please leave them in the comment section. I will answer with the best of my knowledge and ability.